What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have a 1911 from Smith & Wesson, and yes, of course, this bad boy is chambered in 45 ACP. Let me do a quick disclosure. I have zero connection to Smith & Wesson in any way, shape, or form. This was loaned to me by my friends at the Elite Indoor Gun Range. Elite is a very, very nice gun tree club here in southern New England. They have sporting clays, 2 indoor ranges, training classes, really nice gun tree club is what I call it. If you're anywhere in the area, check them out. I do not think you will be disappointed. If you care, the ammo was supplied by my Patreon supporters and by the Elite Indoor Gun Range, just so you know. Alright, Smith & Wesson makes base model standard 1911s, then they make the Pro Series 1911, which this one is, and then they make their Performance Center 1911. So this is kind of a middle of the road for Smith & Wesson 1911s. This particular one has a stainless steel frame, a stainless steel slide, and a stainless steel barrel. Some of the other ones are a little bit different. And the one thing I noticed right away when I saw this gun is the two-tone look. The black frame with the stainless slide is just a really, really sharp look, especially with these wood tone bark kind of grips. So as far as magazine, it takes a very standard 1911 45 ACP mag. Comes with 2 of them. They hold 8 rounds each. You can also get them in 9mm. Also, I would probably go with the 9mm just to aggravate the pure 1911 fanboys. As far as the magwell, it has a tiny, tiny bevel to it. Not much at all. Kind of a drawback. When you have the lower capacity of a 1911, yes, I'm going to drive every 1911 fanboy crazy in this video. When you have the lower capacity, you reload a lot more often, so a little bit bigger of a magwell would have been nice, but nitpicky, not a big deal at all. The grips. I love the grips. I hate the grips. I love the grips. So I love the way they look. The first thing I noticed was, wow, those are good looking grips. They're absolutely beautiful. That tree bark kind of look is just absolutely sexy. I hate the size of them. They're just too wide for my hands. No, I made it work. It wasn't that big of a deal. I was easily getting hits at steel at some distances, but if you look at them, they're much wider than most 1911 grips. Now, it's not the end of the world. If you don't like these, you pop out a couple screws and you can replace them very easily. Just wanted to make sure you knew that they're really, really wide, and if you can get your hands on this gun before you buy it to see how it feels, it may or may not work for you, depending on the size of your hands. The other thing I love about the grips is the way they feel. Not only do they look great, but they feel great as well. Man, you really locks in your grip, and whether you're shooting fast or slow, the gun just doesn't move. Another part that really locks your grip in is going to be the front and the rear backstrap. The rear is 30 lines per inch checkering, which is pretty good. The front is even more aggressive. It's probably a 20 or a 25 lines per inch, but I couldn't find that information to verify. Both the mag release and the grip safety are standard 1911s. There's nothing really to mention or talk about. They both work fine, no issues. They're just fine. One thing, it does drop the mags freely if you are concerned. Like most 1911s, it does that, but there's really nothing to talk about with either one of those. What I do want to talk about is the sponsor of today's video. Excuse me, and this will be very, very quickly. We have Blackout Coffee Company located down in Florida, small batch roasted. They support the troops. They make delicious, really delicious coffee, tea, and hot chocolate. My kids love the hot chocolate. My wife loves blueberry crumble. And you can make fun of me for it, but I love the cinnamon French toast coffee. I don't care what you say, it is really, really good. The link and the discount code are down in the video description if you want to get yourself some Blackout coffee. Alright, as far as the trigger, it has an excellent trigger like you would expect out of most 1911s. It's just, they're very, very solid. So 1911 triggers pull straight to the rear. They're not hinged at all. That's part of it. They're typically lighter weight than other guns as well. Because it has an external safety, you can lighten up the trigger and still make sure the gun is carried safe. So there's pretty much zero take up until you come to a wall. It's a nice clean break. It's solid, very, very good. It is adjustable as well, so if you want to increase or decrease the weight of the trigger, you can. This one broke around 4 pounds on my scale, which is a questionable scale. It doesn't always work well. And then as the reset, like you would expect with a 1911, it's very short. It is slightly audible, very, very short, crisp, It's good. I mean, the Smith & Wesson did a great job on this trigger. As far as the rail, there is no accessory rail on this gun, just so you know. Some of their other 1911s have an accessory rail. I wish it was on there. One, I like running lights, and two, again, I really like to annoy 1911 guys. Sorry, I don't know why I like to annoy you guys so much. But it's about to continue. Slide release, slide stop, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to hear it. It's fine. It's a standard 1911 slide stop, slide release. You can't reach it with the thumb on my strong hand, so if you choose to use it as a slide release, you put the magazine in, come up with the thumb on your support hand to drop that slide release, and nothing makes a 1911 guy more angry than when you do that on a 1911. I'm gonna get comments about that one, I know it. Alright, serrations. The serrations on here are solid, really, really good. It has both front and rear serrations, so however you want to run the gun, by the front, by the back, under the slide, above the slide, whatever you do to run the gun, these serrations will be there, even if your hands are a little sweaty or wet or whatever. Alright, the sights. The sights are another thing that I love, I hate, I love, I hate, I love, I hate. Let me explain why. I love that they're Novak sights. Novak sights are great. I've had them on other guns before. They're absolutely wonderful. The thing I hate about them the most is the rear sight has two super bright fiber optics, and they stick out way more than the front fiber optic. I mean, it's drastic. Like, it's hard for me to pick up that front sight. All I see is the rear sight. So it slowed me down a little bit picking up the sights. Usually when I presented for the first time, it definitely slowed me down a little bit, so I didn't love that. I do like that they're adjustable. I do like it has a small ledge for one-handed manipulations on your 1911, and that front sight with the bright red fiber optic, once I got my eye focused on it and not the rear sight, front red fiber optics are great for me in my eyes. If this were my sights, I would probably get a blacked out rear sight and I would be good to go, and the sights would be an A+. Now, one thing I want to mention, two things I want to mention, three things I want to mention. One, the armorer at the Elite Indoor Gun Range said a lot of the, if not all of the Performance Center guns and the Pro Series guns from Smith & Wesson have been coming with the rear sight loose. I don't think that's on purpose. I don't know. He said there's been a lot of guns like that. Or after a couple magazines, the sights go loose. So be aware of that. Maybe throw some Loctite on yours if you need to. This one here is loose. It was fine when I picked it up, and now it's loose. So I'll tighten it up before I bring it back. Second, the front fiber optic did walk out while I was shooting. Guys, that's no big deal. That happens all the time. My SIG X5 Legion hasn't had a front fiber optic sight in probably 3 months because I haven't made a point to fix it. I just used the dot. But that came out while I was shooting. Again, no big deal. Now, if you don't like these sights, like I'm not a huge fan of them, this pistol is available with different sights. So you can get 3-dot white sights and a couple other options. So it's not the end of the world, but I wanted to get into that. Taking down this gun is the same as the majority of 1911s. It's very easy once you do it a few times. I'm not going to show you because every time I do, YouTube likes to demonetize my channel, demonetize my video, and not show it to anyone. There's hundreds of really good videos on how to disassemble a 1911. Don't be afraid. It's very easy once you do it a few times. Standard recoil spring in here, the guide rod. I did take this apart twice. The guide rod is not a full-size guide rod. It's a standard guide rod, just so you know. The barrel doesn't really have any crown to it at all. No, not really. It is a 5-inch barrel, like all standard full-size 1911s. And yeah, very, very accurate as well. As far as the box, comes in the standard big blue box from Smith & Wesson, if you care. It has a manual. It does have a bushing wrench, which is great. Don't lie. You know you've taken a 1911 apart and you've had either the bushing or that plug that sits on top of the spring go flying. You know. Don't lie. Tell the truth. We all have. Now you guys can take a look at the dimensions, the weight, and the MSRP. Now the MSRP ranges a little depending on which version you get, caliber, sight, stuff like that. I'm not going to go ahead and quote street price right now because here in 2021 guns are still going for more than the MSRP, the same. Prices are all over the place, so you'll have to do some research and see what the street price is. Can't really quote that for you right now, but the testing is always my favorite part of the video. I brought this to the range several times. Both of my ranges, put a few magazines through it indoors as well, but I don't think I captured that footage. I mostly just slayed a bunch of steel, plinked, had fun, ran some drills with it. I did stretch it out a little bit to 50 yards and was able to get some hits on a very small plate at 50 yards. So I would say this gun is very, very accurate, like you would expect a 1911 to be. Broke out my chest rig. My chest rig is made for a full-size 1911, so I figured why not get some reps in? I don't shoot 1911s too often, and definitely not full size without rails in 45 ACP, so I broke out the chest rig and had a little fun with that. Now I also ran 2 magazines of Federal HST, 200 and whatever, 30, 50 grain hollow points, just to make sure it would run hollow points. I have a couple boxes of that laying around for some reason, so I figured I would put some of those rounds through there. I think more than anything else, I just loaded the magazines with an 8-round magazine capacity. I'm used to something with a much higher capacity, so it felt like all I did was load the magazines over and over and over and over, and I'm just trying to annoy 1911 fanboys, and I hope it's working. All right, pros. Like most good quality 1911s, the trigger is fantastic. Love the trigger. The front and rear serrations are great as well. They're very grippy, if that's a word. I do not know. I love Smith & Wesson because not only are they made in the United States, they're also made here in New England, just like me. I was made right here in New England. I think I was anyway. And then as far as the grips look fantastic. They feel fantastic, but it's also a con for me at the same time because I think they're a little bit too big for the average person's hand, and I am a very average person. So if this was my gun, one of the things I would change out is a different set of grips that are a little bit more thin. These are just a little too chunky for my hands. Second con is going to be the rear sight. The rear fiber optics are very bright, and I had one other person look through it and they said the same thing. Those rear fiber optics are bright and it overpowers the front sight. Let me say it that way. So I would probably swap these out for an all blacked out rear sight. Besides that, I think this gun is good to go. Overall, I think this gun is priced accordingly. If you're looking for a gun in that $1,200 to $1,500 range, is what I'm guessing these go for. Once prices come back down, this would be a very good option for the price. It's not a $5,000 1911, nor is it priced that way, so I think it's priced accordingly. If I was going to get a 1911 from Smith & Wesson, I would see if they have one with a rail, with an optic, and in 9mm, just to really annoy the 1911 fanboys. That would just put them right over the top. All right, let me thank my friends at the Elite Indoor Gun Range for loaning me this gun. Again, they are the biggest sponsor, supporter, helper of this channel, and that is greatly appreciated. Let me also thank the sponsor of this video, which is Blackout Coffee Company. Again, they have hot chocolate tea and coffee made here in the States. Delicious, ship fast. The link in the coupon code, the link and the discount code is down in the video description. These are the other companies who support me with affiliate links. Again, the discount code or the link is down you know where. My Patreon supporters, I love them. They supply most of the ammo to this channel, and that is greatly appreciated because I'm sure most of you guys know ammo is still stupid expensive. Hopefully we get back to normal sooner than later. I have a bunch of Tiberious swag. I don't know why I even say this, but if you want to look goofy in a Tiberious sweatshirt, hoodie, socks, stickers, t-shirt, whatever, of course the link is down in the video description. I am on 3 social media platforms. If you want to know what reviews I'm working on right now in real time before they come out here on YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and on Parler, even though I do nothing on Parler. More important than anything else, let me thank you boys and girls for watching. I always say it, and I mean it, very sincere. Every time you like a video, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notification, share a video, anytime you guys do any of that stuff, it truly helps this channel out, and it is greatly appreciated. I will see you guys next time. Peace!